and welcome to day one coverage from the 2017 Green Mountain Championship presented by Discraft. We've got a feature card today featuring Paul McBeth, Steve Brinster, Gregg Barsby, and Austin Turner. Big Sexy commentary here with you, myself, Nate Sexton, and Jeremy Koling.
And we see Paul McBeth coming off to a blistering start, 7 under through the front 9. Gregg's right behind him at 6, Austin's at 4 under, and Steve, who had some difficulties on the putting green, kept coming up short several times, made a couple really good putts. He's at 2 under, and we're heading to a very difficult back 9.
Yeah, hole 10 is 410 feet, but it is considerably downhill. You really just need to throw a laser straight shot. That's the only way to park this basket. If you have a lot of fade either way, you're not going to be successful.
And 410 feet is kind of far to throw a fairway driver forehand, but I think that's what Gregg is trying to do here. I believe that's an eagle. The downhill nature of this hole will allow a fairway driver as long as you get the right angle off the tee.
Yep. Paul's going to go McPro Rock 3. This is looking pretty nice. Probably going to have just a hint of fade at the end.
And this is
that's deep.
And that's common to, once you get that disc up in the air, it's so hard on this slope to get it down. It really takes a perfect shot. There's a couple trees down there that you can kind of maybe intentionally ricochet off of and kind of slow your disc down. But 2 beautiful shots here we're seeing in a row from Paul and Steve.
Oh, this is fading a little much, but 45-50, but obstructed. It's going to be a really tough putt.
Very difficult putt from there, but I mean, it's so difficult. Like once you hit this gap and you get the right height, how do you slow it down?
Yeah, you need to be lower. It's not going to stay quite straight enough, I think.
And that's a crystal buzz there from Austin, and he's going to be
in the circle.
Yeah,
barely?
Just inside the circle. He's going to maybe have that one tree in the way. He might have an open look at it, but Gregg's probably just going to have to lay this one up.
That would be the smart play. It looks like that's what he's done. Very easy. Steve had to go to the knee. Like we thought, this is going to be a very technical putt.
He's one of the best at this, I feel like. I've seen him make so many of those obscure, obstructed putts. That time he's a little bit inside. He actually still has a little bit of work to do to save his par.
Paul needed to just get over the branch, didn't quite do it. And Austin, this could be really obstructed as well. Guess not.
And a nice little stab there. Kind of a low ceiling.
Stay tight to the tree.
You stay tight to the tree, stay underneath that branch there. He's not a lofty putter by nature anyways.
No.
And a good par save there from Steve.
I was cruising around Instagram last night, and I saw a video of some big, goofy-looking guy almost acing this hole.
Yeah, that big, goofy guy was probably me that you're talking about.
Oh, it might have been you, yeah.
But my drive ended up about where Paul's was.
Yeah, it looked like it was still moving.
It went pretty deep. From the tee, it looked like it was going right in, and I see it hit the ground, skip up, and hit a tree, and I thought it hit the tree right behind the basket. That tree it hit was about 40 feet deep.
Really? I thought you were parked, too, when I saw it, but wow.
Got the birdie.
Well, nicely done.
Thank you.
1 birdie there on our last hole. Hole 11 is a downhill par 4, 615 feet. The fairway goes straight, then kind of jogs to the right, and then goes straight again. So the ideal drive, I've seen some backhand turnovers get down there in a jump putting area because of the downhill. But you can play anything that moves just slightly right. The key then is just to stay somehow in the fairway rather than finding the rough and having a really tough shot.
Yeah, usually staying in the fairway is a good idea on any hole, but really, in this hole, it's maybe a little bit more ideal.
Paramount.
Yeah, and this is a great shot, pushing that left side all the way, and he's actually bringing trees into the equation. But look at this, he's way down there.
That got pretty lucky, and I think he's going to like it.
Yeah, I thought for a minute that was down the middle. But yeah, it was a little bit left side. He got lucky to get where he got, and Gregg is utilizing a little bit more of the fairway.
Ooh.
Catches one just on the edge.
But that's far down the fairway already.
But yeah, I agree with you. The ideal shot here is the slowly rolling backhand turnover shot. And Paul is caught early trees. That looked like that was right down the middle, just a bit too high.
Yep.
That comes in place so much out here. The ceiling is so low in some places. You think that your shot's really good, and then it catches one of these really hidden overhanging branches.
Yeah, Paul told me that in practice he got a 35-footer off on this hole. And he might be saying that just because he wants me to like him. He might be making that up. But
I think he does want you to like him, but I've actually heard that from other guys named Paul as well. Ulibarri told me the same thing. He put it inside the circle, he said.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I can't even really fathom that. That takes so much skill, so much, and you have to throw a fast disc, I feel like.
Yeah.
So to control a fast disc down this tight of a fairway on that tight of a line is pretty impressive.
That's kind of the Ulibarri special.
Yeah, it is.
Fast disc in the woods.
Yeah, he is really great at committing to tight lines.
Gregg with a fantastic drive.
Wow. I mean,
in my group yesterday, Ricky was well behind where Gregg was, and he hit chains with that trusty harp. Nearly sunk a 2.
Wow. And Austin just so far down the fairway, throwing his roach putter approach. But, man, God, just being off the fairway, you can see there's just so much to deal with there.
We told you fairways were important. That's something that Germ and I actually just pioneered today. What?
Oh, my gosh. What?
Okay, 125-footer finds the chains. That's a birdie.
Wow.
I was going to make fun of him because Paul also told me last night when I was talking about this hole, he's like, oh, yeah, the easy par 4. I was like, well, I don't think it's that easy.
No, it's not easy.
And I was about to be like, he's just chunking it up through the woods, not even getting a birdie, calling this hole easy. But no, it's still easy for him.
That's awesome. What a putt there
That was
Paul.
An amazing putt.
Keeping that momentum going.
Yeah. Austin going through the middle.
And guarantee you that was not a layup. He just kept that thing a little bit too low.
Yeah.
And this would be a great birdie here for Steve.
Yeah, it would. This is a long putt still. Doesn't look long, thanks to Paul, but that was a big putt. That's a 45-footer, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, you see him jogging in. He's not jogging in 33-footers. That's a 45-footer for sure.
This is a 33-footer, and nobody's going to jog.
Oh.
Barely low from Gregg.
Just couldn't get it up, and he's showing his frustration there. And that's kind of a frustrating par for both Gregg and Austin with their great drives.
Best 2 drives in the group easily, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. And look at this. Paul's 8 down through 11. Greg's still with a solid round so far. 6 down is a great place to be thus far.
Definitely. He's just slowing down a little bit as of late. Hole 12, par 3, also downhill, 360 feet. This one you're going to want to throw probably a backhand mid-range as a right-handed player, and you're going to need it to straighten up a little bit. A hard fade here is going to punish you and put you in danger of kind of going off this back edge that's really kind of pretty steep down to a small river.
And I think it favors a late fade, so maybe throwing something a little overstable or with a lot of hyzer as Paul has done here. But what happens if you put too much pace on it is that right there. I think the ideal play, if you have the power, is to throw a putter. Just throw it up there, a little nose up, and let it just drift off at the end. And we're seeing the same disc here that Steve threw on hole 3. Don't know what that is, but that was just ideal there with it slightly nose up all the way down the hill so it can slow down as it gets down to that really fast green.
See, I don't like a speed 13 here, but
yeah,
let's see what Austin figures out with it.
Austin is a player who prefers to go to the hyzer when he can. He has a great forehand, great backhand combo. Sometimes it gets him in trouble on greens like this require a little bit more touch.
And Gregg goes driver here. That surprises me. A little bit of action, but he'll be putting.
And Ulibarri told me a line yesterday I really like. He said, sometimes it's better to go with the wrong disc that you know you're going to hit the gap with, as opposed to the right disc and then be scared you're going to hit the first tree. That's a good point.
Sure.
I mean, it might not be the ideal disc for that hole, but maybe he was just feeling confident with that shot.
Of course.
Oh, no.
Wow, nearly makes good anyway.
Man, just spits through. I think that was maybe a little bit left side there, but...
Oh, man. He's not going to like that. 2 low ones in a row. Very close. Not an easy putt by any means, but would be happy to get that in. And Steve showing him how it's done. Fantastic drive there, making the birdie very, very easy. Paul gets his par. Austin strolls up and slam dunks.
I'd have liked to have seen that putt from a different angle to see just how much chain that caught.
Yeah.
It's certainly left side.
It didn't look center, but it was a good effort for sure.
And Brinster's sneaking his way back up in here.
Yeah,
400.
definitely. Hole 13, par 4, 555 feet. It goes straight to begin, then moves right, and then it's a little tunnel shot to finish to the basket. Ideal play is probably like a pretty straight forehand with kind of a soft finish or a backhand turnover.
This one surprised me that it was the third hardest hole yesterday because from my recollection, this hole was pretty easy, at least for me with the forehand tee shot.
Yeah.
Last year, it was...
Look at this roller.
No, that's an interesting play there.
That I had not considered.
And the hole has actually been moved back. This is another one of the several changes. This is a slight tweak, but the distance that they brought this basket back really makes this a two-shot hole, whereas before, this perfect drive that you see from Paul would almost be in jump putt range, like 130-foot jump putt. Now he's going to have to execute a second throw to get to the green, and it's really tight. There's a lot of roots in the way, so you can't slide your disc to the basket comfortably.
Uh-oh.
And Austin knew right out of his hand he was going to hit that corner tree.
I think the reason this hole plays difficult is just because that little tunnel is long enough that, like, if you're not in the perfect spot, you really have no access to it.
Right.
So if you haven't thrown a good drive, there's no way you're making birdie.
Oh, look at this forward advance with the perfect shot and
Nicely
the
done.
extra 30 feet with the roll there from Gregg. He's going to be in great position to get his birdie.
Like from here,
There's nothing
can't
you can
reach
do.
the pin.
No. The best you can do is get into the gap and make a long putt at best.
That was a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
He's still got 70 feet.
Right. Well, he looks like he's inside circle two, so he might be closer to, I don't know.
64 feet.
Yeah, sure. 64 feet or so. So, I mean, at least 6 feet closer than you
Yeah,
said.
clearly. Gregg with a nice straight window. Going to go with the forehand putter. I don't think he's going to like that at all. He has yanked it a little bit. Paul's got the Nova in his hand, and I bet you he's thinking about bidding this a little bit.
Oh, I think so. And that is too wide.
Oh,
He's caught
no.
an outside edge tree. Surprising that he's got to be the best in the world at throwing the Nova.
Yeah, you would think.
In fact, I believe he got a practice ace with the Nova
He did.
on Fox Run on the other course.
Austin for what would be a miracle birdie.
Oh, wow. Great shot there. Good attempt. But again, like you said, there's no way to access the green from where he was. It takes a really great drive to even have a conceivable chance of birdie.
Yeah. Steve with a tricky line. Looks like he's got through enough. Can Paul save par here, you think? Or save birdie?
Save birdie here.
Save birdie.
I think he can. And I think he will.
Wow. What a putt.
Oh, my goodness. Nice line there. And this is a second putt in 3 holes that we've seen him slide in the kind of the nose up. Like, well, I guess the tree wasn't in the way as much as it was on hole 11. But still,
That was a monster putt for sure.
excellent putting display.
You got to make that after the drive, the ideal drive. It's
Yeah.
tough to choke down a par after you drive the disc that well.
And you said something about him calling hole 11 easy. Is that why he made the putt? Because he thinks
what
it's
I'm-
easy
that's
and
what
he deserves the birdie because
I
it's
think
easy.
so.
I
think
must
so.
get it. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And this hole, it's easy. Look how great my drive was. Oh, I screwed up my approach. Doesn't matter. The hole's easy.
I still have to write down the 3 somehow, so I guess I'm making this.
Yeah, I have to make it.
Gregg disappointed with that 4. He had a really good drive as well. So
Yeah, a couple
pretty
holes
tough.
now on the back 9 where he's had great drives and couldn't quite pull together the birdie. He's kind of getting lulled to sleep maybe.
Lifetime warranty, and 1% back to the planet. Tempercraft USA. Temper your thirst.
Hole 14, par 3, uphill 260 feet. This is a technical little shot. You're going to want to throw probably a backhand fairway driver as a right-handed player. Really, really straight, and then just try to finish left very late in the flight. There's not really an option to play a sweeping hyzer into this pin.
Yeah, it's nice to get to a hole like this where you know that, there's not going to be any sort of crazy score. It's the birdie's right there for you. You must get the birdie here if you want to stay competitive in this pro field. But it might not be a must get, but it is. It is a pretty important time in the round because you have some difficult holes coming up, and you really want to get this birdie here. I mean, it's at this point in the round, getting twos. There's not many twos left.
Yeah, and look at Steve. Absolutely parks the hole. That was perfect.
Wow.
Going with that nuke again, and he just barely yanks it.
And this one's a little bit tricky. You can see that it's uphill, but the tee pad is slightly uphill as well. Mm-hmm. And when you have these uphill tee pads, your run up just feels a little bit heavier.
Sometimes you end up throwing a lot softer than you intended to.
Right. And so, although it's only 260 feet, it's uphill. You have the uphill tee pad, and there's a lot of issues that make this pretty challenging. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's right there in front of you. You can see the basket from the tee. It's only 260 feet away, yet there's a lot of challenges in the way. So it makes it more difficult than you think it would be.
Ooh, man, he had me believing that he might make that too.
Mm-hmm.
Gregg to right the ship. Oh, man.
And he makes the adjustment. He's come up low on a couple putts there. That time he said, I'm not going to be low.
Yep.
And he wasn't.
Steve, not going to be low from there. That is in, and it is a great birdie for him. He is kind of coming back here in the round. I think he's gaining ground over these last few holes.
And 40% of the field birdied that one. There's 50 birdies, 70 pars, and like I said, only 5 bogeys. Nothing to speak of. No bad numbers. Mm-hmm. Or no tragic numbers.
Yeah. Hole 15, the site of many tragic numbers, I would think. This one is an island fairway, sort of, where I'm not going to quite say island green. You just have to get over that rock wall and stay right of it to be safe. If you don't do that, you're going to have to go to a drop zone that isn't that easy. So I would think there were many a bogey.
There were many bogeys. There was 19 bogeys, but there was actually even more double bogeys.
Mm-hmm. That's because that drop zone is tough.
Right. The drop zone is very difficult. So if you do miss this quote-unquote island, the double bogey certainly comes into play. And a clean drive there, incredible shot there. I mean, that's, I don't want to say a bonus, but to get through cleanly and to have a look at birdie is certainly an advantage on the field.
Oh, this looks perfect.
And a good kick to the basket.
Little bounce right to the basket. Nicely done.
And I was really surprised to see that there were 18% of the field birdied this hole. I would not have imagined that high of a percentage, really.
Yeah.
But this hole does set up really well for Austin Turner's forehand.
Nice, Austin.
He's so accurate with that shot when he can throw, not a full power, but he can really lace a shot through a gap with that high-speed disc. And, oh, man, I was about to say...
It's safe, though.
Our lead group was had no troubles, but Gregg's a little bit further back than he'd like, and you can see the drop zone there off to the left. And Gregg has thrown a good approach, but those little trees there are about 25 feet away.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to kind of duck to get a clean putt through there.
Oh, man.
And that's either the 4th or 5th time we've seen that from Steve this round. Oh, and Gregg has missed off to the right side. You see right there the difficulty of landing in those trees.
Definitely. And what, did this come in as number 1 handicap or?
No, the number 1 handicap, this was you're absolutely right. It is the hardest hole. I thought it was the second hardest hole, but it was the second hardest hole for 2016.
Okay.
Our stats guy gave us the 2016 stats as well.
That's going the extra mile.
The extra mile indeed. Yeah, there was only 10% of birdies in 2016, 18% yesterday. I mean, that's a huge jump.
That is a big jump.
The hole has not changed at all.
No.
Besides maybe bark missing and some leaves maybe gone from last year.
Great 2 birdies from Paul and Austin. Pacing our group, Paul is at 10 under through 15. Hole 16 is a downhill 400-foot shot, OB wall on the left. The shot breaks to the right, I feel like this one is a little bit luck heavy. You throw it down here and there are just kind of a lot of trees, but there are some clean gaps through. You just kind of have to work the disc in there, get a good skip, maybe get a good tree hit, and see if you can make your putt.
Yeah, I think the way you draw it up, the cleanest way is to play outside forehand and then give yourself maybe 30 feet or so. It's so difficult to throw it down the clean gap and get all the way to the basket.
Yeah.
A lot of that's just kind of the play here. You just throw a forehand down there and you just start praying.
That's the one tree that you're trying to get around.
Left side, right side. Yeah, either one. You can find a way through it. I know. Oh, goodness.
No, he was going for the early gap, but that is going to be big trouble. It may be tough to save par from there.
I would imagine it's going to be very tough to save par from there. I mean, you can just see from here how many trees are in the way.
This is kind of a cool looking shot. Just needs to glide in there.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, I wish about 5 trees on either side were taken out so there could be so you can conceive a pure line.
Yep. It's one of those holes where it's hard to imagine somebody coming up and be like, oh, I'm a local here and let me park it 5 times in a row and I'll show you the line.
Right.
It's just sort of a pinball machine down there.
Yeah, it's a kind of a poke and hope here.
Austin, was this a roller or did he keep it in the air? No, he got it in the air. So that's not a bad shot, but going to be tough like we thought. Paul has proven he is dangerous from this range.
Yeah, no kidding. And gives that, he's just out for blood today.
Yeah,
he's going for everything. That's a scary putt. I mean, you can see it's downhill all the way, and just not drawing any metal or anything else. He's out there, circle's edge. He's gonna have a long putt for his par.
Oh man, and this is gonna be for bogey now.
Yeah, he's gonna have about 28 feet for his bogey putt.
But you can see how the style of play at the top professional level. These guys are 60 and 70 feet away, putting downhill through trees, not caring at all about being 28, 29 feet long coming back.
Well, we'll see how much they care by the results from their next putts.
Yeah.
And you see everyone is pretty much in the same spot besides Austin there, who caught the early tree. And you're going to see most of the players kind of come up in that same range. And that's a good par putt from Paul. But with that bunker there that you have just lined all the way across, it's so difficult to expect any shot getting through that cleanly.
This is Austin for bogey, big pressure putt.
Oh, wow.
And that did not go well. Wow, double bogey, tough to take here, especially as a left-handed thrower. Steve in for par. It looks like Gregg has let his hair down for the finish of the round.
Yeah, maybe time to change things up a bit. And look at that. Paul is doubling Steve and Gregg. Gregg has slid back from this early hot start, and Steve is kind of caught up to him, and they're tied now, which is pretty impressive after the completely different front nines that they had.
Yeah, definitely. Hole 17, par 4, 530. Follow the gravel road all the way home to the basket, and don't go anywhere else.
Yeah, if you go anywhere else, there's no wiggle room for any sort of creativity. There's a little wall here, and you see that wall is protecting a very slopey, dangerous roll away from happening, and that's possible to go left anytime during this hole, but they wanted to protect at least the green, so that was nice of them to at least add that there.
Yeah, fantastic, aggressive destroyer shot from Paul. He should have less than 200 feet left to the pin.
And with that wall being there, you think Paul could maybe be thinking 2?
I don't think the angle is right. This is the angle you want to be thinking 2.
Oh, no.
It just can't go in the woods. But from over there, you can play more of a hyzer in. I think Paul being out here on that side, he's going to have to play more of a turnover.
Yeah, sure.
That's my guess. Oh, Gregg is a little wide, and he is not on the gravel road that we suggested he be on. And the results may be difficult. Austin flips it over.
Oh, goodness.
Not what he was looking for. Must be throwing a straight disc there, but he certainly wants that to hyzer and skip. And wow, Gregg was in a horrible spot if that's all he was able to go for. But that's a smart play. It's not very difficult from there. He should be able to get up and down.
And Austin is going really fast at this. This needs to slow down.
Did it shoot through?
I think he went through the wall.
We'll see soon enough.
Wow. And he almost got a great break to throw it so fast into the green and catch something and stop, but it ricocheted. It looks like he went through the wall. He might be all the way down the hill.
Gregg makes me want to try a rhino. He throws it so cool.
Yeah, he's just Mr. Cool.
See, like I thought, Paul does not have a good angle, and
You're right.
has not thrown that very well either, so he might have a pretty tough putt. Steve from down in the canyon.
And the rare forehand anhyzer, but a great drive allowed him to throw just a pitch approach. He's going to be parked for his 3.
And look at where Paul got to. Wow. You can see it is very steep.
Are you kidding me? No.
Nasty putt there.
What?
Falling forward through the branches.
What?
And we've got ourselves a birdie.
What?
Even Paul's getting kind of surprised here.
Stop it.
He's making so many of these. Even he's starting to laugh. Steve's like,
Hey, check
"Wait,
this out.
dude."
Hey, yeah, come here. Hold on a second. Let me show you where I was.
Yeah.
Horse,
Yeah.
you get a letter.
He's reenactment. What?
Can we get a SloMez?
Oh, he's reenactment. He's struggling now. And now he can finally go up to the basket. It looks like somebody has hung his putter there.
Oh, no,
for
that doesn't
him.
count. It doesn't count.
Oh, good. Austin didn't go too far past the wall, and he makes a great birdie.
Wow. That's just silly. He's just toying with disc golf right now. Oh, the backwards hat technique from Gregg.
Pays off.
Yep. Good par save after the rough landing on his tee shot. And Steve there tapping in his nice birdie.
That was really nice from down in the ditch where his drive landed.
3 very different birdies. One kind of routine one just ridiculous one, and one kind of a lucky break there from Austin to throw so fast on the green with
Going
that nuke.
distance driver. Hole 18, our finisher, par 3, straight up the middle, but there is a lot of foliage in the way. Probably the cleanest shot is a slight anhyzer maybe on an overstable disc that's going to come back and kind of dodge those branches. You'll also see dead straight mid-range. Some crazy guys go forehand roller here.
Were you one of those crazy guys?
I was, man, the craziest of them all.
You didn't mention the thumber route, which is what I chose.
Oh, that's cool. I wish I could do that.
Well, it didn't work out, so maybe you don't wish that you could do that.
Simon was frustrated enough to bust out the Simahawk here. Did not work.
Okay, so it's kind of a similar concept, up and above.
Yeah. Here we see a very straight shot. Can it get under? Yes. Can it stop? Yes.
Oh, wow. That's a great way to finish. He's going to have park job to get off the course.
Has that putt, I believe, to go 7 down?
7 down. I mean, such a slow start, and he's going to find himself with a very respectable score.
Austin has just set the record for the 3 lowest nuke shots thrown in a row. None higher than a kneecap.
And Gregg going with his eagle, just a slight turnover. This is pretty much the ideal way to attack this hole.
Yeah, it is.
And you see the chips. You know it's good when you see the chips like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely parked. We're going to get to see a great view of it here.
Yeah.
Turn it over. This is Gregg's favorite disc.
Yeah, he's really good with it. And
yeah,
I'm giving him 94% odds of making that putt.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
Greater than.
I'll take the over. Paul won last time.
Yeah,
Not quite.
kidding,
A little
yeah.
high. And he'll have that to finish his round at 11 under. Oh, Austin just high. Great round from Paul.
11 under start. These guys teed off at 9:30 and cards are going out as late as 2:30. So Paul sets the early standard with the great round, 11 under par.
Steve charging back. Like a hard fought round. Really well done.
Played a great back 9.
Yeah,
I believe he shot 5 under in the back 9, which is a great score.
that really is.
And Austin's just helping Gregg's lie a little bit there with covering it up with some mulch. And he does convert on his 94%. putting ratio from inside 1 foot.
So you owe Germ 100, guy, whoever you are. That's 2 birdies, 2 pars. Paul at 11. Steve finishes second on the card at 7. Pretty impressive. Paul not good enough for the lead card though, as we see Nate Doss and MJ both come in bogey-free 13, Kale 12 with a bogey, and Eric Oakley rounding out the lead card with another 12 under.
And there was some great bogey-free rounds out there. I believe there were 12 guys who had bogey-free. You were one of them. And but yeah, there was some great scores there. 13 under, setting the course record, tied there from Nate Doss and Michael Johansson.
Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as the action shifts to Fox Run. Totally different course, just as beautiful, just as tough. And we will be there covering it. Thank you to Jomez. Thank you to the PDGA. Thanks to our stats guy, Michael Clancy.
David
Clancy. I'm sorry, David. That is my fault.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.